understand is three things. One is what is hydrograph, the next one is unit hydrograph, and the last one is synthetic hydrograph we have, right? So now when we see about hydrograph, right, so I will show that image. So that is the basic. First of all, there will be a doubt why we need to study about hydrograph, right? So our intention is whenever any type of river is coming, right? So whenever any type of what you call rainfall is coming, so if there is less rainfall, there is no problem. One thing, the water will go under the ground or some water will stay at the top of the surface, right? Suppose you think a situation that when the rain is heavy, some part of the water will go under the ground, no problem with that, and some will stay on the surface, no problem. But what happens when the rainfall is very heavy? So ultimately what will happen? The water will flow as a surface runoff, and then it will reach the nearby river, stream, or whatever it is, right? So nearby water bodies it will reach. So when the runoff is very heavy and very more, what happens? The nearby river streams will get full. So the storage capacity of that particular water body will be full. After that, it will come out as flood or overflow or whatever it is. So that becomes a danger. That's why we are studying this hydrographs, right? So the basic necessity to study about hydrograph, general hydrograph, is how the river is affected by the storm or any type of rainfall or whatever it is. So that is the reason we are studying about hydrograph. The very purpose reason of hydrograph is how rainfall is affecting the river or any type of water body when the surface runoff is very high. So that is the purpose of studying hydrograph, right? So this is a basic hydrograph structure which we have seen. So here in this thing, what it is there is, whenever there is increase in rainfall, so ultimately this hydrograph will move. So here we will break it into different structures, right? First one, this is a basic hydrographs. When we are removing this base flow is nothing but after the precipitation is falling into the surface, some part of the water will go under the groundwater and it will become what you call a base flow. So this is like a slow process, but at the same time it's an important process, because whenever first the rainfall is coming, it will go into the surface. After reaching the surface, it will slowly go into the groundwater. So whenever we are studying about any type of hydrograph, so we need to focus on the base flow here. That is the water which is going under the ground, that is called base flow. Now what happened? Anyway, we are not utilizing this base flow, so it is not useful for us. So we will be removing the base flow. So if you remove the base flow, that is called as DRH. That is what? Direct runoff hydrograph. So that's what we are focusing on, right? So now we don't want the information of this base flow, and we cannot predict this base flow also. So we are not concentrating on base flow. So the total picture is called the hydrograph first. And in case if you are removing this base flow, that is the water which is going under the ground, and the remaining part is called as the DRH, direct runoff hydrograph. So what is the direct runoff hydrograph? It's nothing but if you remove this particular base flow, what will happen? The water which is going under the ground is done, and at the same time there are already some losses are there, that loss is also gone. So we will know exactly, suppose from this area to this area, if you measure it, that is the actual water which is available in the surface. It will be moving into the nearby water source. So that is where we are focusing on. Now when the water is up to this limit, okay, we are understanding that the peak is here only, so it will not cause any much disturbances. But when the peak discharge is nothing but the runoff. So after a certain period, if more rainfall is happening, what happen? Ultimately the runoff will be more, it will reach the nearby water sources, right? So first thing what you have to understand is hydrograph. What is hydrograph? It is nothing but telling about the total process. That is what is the rainfall it is happening, because of rainfall how the water is available in the surface as well as in the underground, and also the losses which are there. So we studied about the initial losses like depression, storage, interception and all, right? So you add up everything, that is this particular hydrograph picture, right? Now I don't want the details about the initial losses, that is interception, depression, storage, that remove it. And also the water which is going under the ground, I am removing that particular part also. I need to know how much water is available only in the surface, right? So I have removed already initial losses, I have removed the base flow. So ultimately the remaining the rose color picture where this flow from this particular region to the top portion is called the surface runoff. Surface runoff is nothing but the water which is available only on the top of the surface. Anyway, it will move to the nearby water body. So that is where we are focusing on. That is called as DRH. That is nothing but the direct runoff hydrograph. So now you forget about the rainfall, right? So rainfall is the source for this runoff. So we are forgetting about the rainfall. Now we are focusing only on the runoff. So here if I remove the base flow, it is called as direct runoff hydrograph. So generally it is called as hydrograph. I am removing all the losses. For our consideration, this base flow is also loss for us because we cannot utilize. So this particular, from this particular region to top of this particular region is the water which is available in the surface. So that is called as surface runoff generally. When we come to hydrograph picture, it is called as